Hello, world. You're talking basketball. We are watching Joel's Untitled Basketball Show here on the Fitzy GFY. I think that stands for. I'm not going to do that right now, but we are having fun. It's a beautiful Friday here in New York City. I shaved the head. I kept the mustache. I'm looking like Tom Hardy and Bronson. That's not a very popular Tom Hardy movie, but what can you do, baby? Hello, Boston. Hello, Townies. Hello, fan therapy disciples. I just saw Quiet Place 2. Who knew they made an entire movie about the Miami Heat? Home court advantage. How are we? Okay, so we have, of course, a very Knicks-centric episode. They are sweeping this city, and we're going to get into it. We have a very passionate fan, and we got a very passionate man. Let's bring him on. I'm going to stick with this rhyme with the great Yoni Lotan. What's up, Yon?
What's up? What's up? Orange Julius in the house. There we go. He loves it.
Orange Julius, the most effective Orange Julius this side of a mall in the 80s.
Exactly. So I wore this outfit to
step back. Let me get another look. I want to see it some more.
There was more. There's like gloves and a hat, and I couldn't find it enough in enough time. But I'm also not wearing pants. I'm like straight like.
I mean, I feel like I should take off my pants. You can only see me from the waist up. So let's party today, guys.
That was like the first joke when Zooms and like streams became things. It's like, I'm not wearing pants, but now it is the mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, I've been going to grad school this whole time, so I've been getting 2 master's degrees with my penis out. So it's a good world. Where did you make that thing?
So here's the situation. I'll give you a little background in myself. I have been on the Jumbotron 6 times now.
Oh, you're a jumbo chaser, huh?
I'm a big time jumbo chaser.
I did not know this about you.
I live for the jumbo. So but not just at MSG. I've been on Staples Center. I've been in because I love sports. I love sporting events, and I love costumes. So I wear a specific costume if like something culturally relevant is happening. And I have like a whole you just gotta get close enough seats that you can make eye contact with the camera people, and then you're golden.
You leverage the personal relationship while wearing something cool. Okay, so can we get into what some of these other costumes are?
Sure. What was it? So there was I went to a Knicks Summer League game, the RJ Barrett game, not the Zion game. We call it the RJ Barrett game.
Sure.
And what did I wear for that? Oh, I just wore I have a Knicks jersey with the number 69 on it.
Oh, I thought it might be like a hair tie thing, like an RJ Barrett.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I mean, I could do RJ and a butterfly, boom.
And like a baguette, and I have a baguette, RJ baguette.
Yeah. Just operate under merge his game with Nicolina's cultural origin. God. It's beautiful.
Just combine. But I want to talk about this in particular because I got Knicks tickets. It was Knicks Suns, the one where Chris Paul annihilated us in the last minute. It was one of the last games of the season. And I knew it was 2,000 fans, so I knew I was going to be seen. So I bought an orange costume. Orange Julius, a reference to the 80s mall conglomerate.
We're going to get a tweet from Orange Julius Corp and be like, we're still here. Come to the mall. We stayed open through COVID.
2 people who work on their social media.
I've never had an Orange Julius. Have you?
No, I just know it's a thing.
Can anyone in the chat tell us if they've had an Orange Julius? I think it's like orange juice and ice cream. It sounds kind of gross.
I was going to say, what is it? Is it just a sweeter orange juice?
And Joff is watching right now. Joff's going to get later you've never had an Orange Julius?
Dude, you never lived. So it was a huge success. Got on the Jumbotron, got on Sports Center, and honestly, one of the biggest accomplishments in my life, made Mike Breen laugh on the MSG like broadcast.
That's a pretty big accomplishment. Not gonna lie, you got the Breenster.
The Breen's Hall of Famer Breenster.
Man, I can't believe Ben Wallace gets criticized for making the Hall of Fame. People are like, nah, Mike Breen's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so fans have been being crazy in MSG. You've never been in any danger of being banned, right? For any of these costumes?
No.
Yeah, because there's been several comedians who've been banned from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
We do have Joff got in. Joff answered the question. He says, Orange Julius is amazing. I actually make my own version at home.
What is your own version at home? Is it orange juice with like sugar in it?
I don't know how to bring up. Yeah, there's the chat right here. We have a lot of the Orange Julius crowd in the chat.
This is great. I'm very happy to hear this, see and hear this. Yeah. I realized I did take my shirt off one time and they were like, put your shirt back on.
Here we have the ingredients. The most trouble I've gotten into, it was a Clippers and Pistons game in like 2008. I brought in a sign that said garage sale because I just passed a garage sale.
Yeah.
I held that up the whole game. They kept showing me on the Jumbotron. Security took it away with 30 seconds left in the game. Come on.
That is such like a mental game that they're playing. It's like, okay. Which is, by the way, Dolan's like forte. It's all mental games there.
And probably the craziest thing in the past couple of days is how popcorn is being treated more serious than spit.
Yes.
Let's lead with the popcorn gate. The spit is
okay.
But hey, Trae Young, some people were born to be hated.
It is really incredible because he's very talented. You cannot deny that. But there's like, and I think every single person I've spoken to is just like, I don't like the guy. There's just like something about him that I mean, and that's the thing. The Knicks fans have been pent up for a very long time. This is, as you could clearly see, there is a explosion of emotion with this team in particular, not just because of like everybody being cooped up for COVID for a year, but also the fact that everybody's been mentally cooped up with,
And this is low-key an amazing fan base, a loyal fan base. And all this great Nets team, they weren't tempted one bit. The coordination of them to hand out Trae is balding signs to the entire arena to coordinate a chant, absolutely an incredible achievement for a fan base. Hats off to them, but not actually hats off because maybe they're balding.
So this is what else. So my little sister is not into basketball, but she's been like culturally like interested, and she's like, pitch me on how to be a Knicks fan. And I was like, this is why being a Knicks fan is so great, is because there is this like underlining rage / passion / like it is pure energy. And like, so I grew up a Knicks fan watching the 90s team and like literally just like closing my eyes and seeing the jumping of fans, like 90s like denim shirts and glasses. And I remember being like there's just something so beautiful, and from an energy standpoint, I like connect with that. And it's been obviously a really rough 20 years. And I told her, I was like, when they're going to be good, when Dolan whatever fucking croaks or whatever the fuck. I mean, this is obvious. We could get into why this team is
be careful with Dolan, because Dolan will go through your social media and he will ban you there. That's what happened to my friend of the show, Jake Head. He got tickets from a U.S. senator, and he went alone. He's like, hey, if I fight James Dolan, I'll own the team. They tracked him based off the tweet. They kicked him out. He's banned from MSG for life. So let's be careful. I love JD in the straight shot.
I love JD in the straight shot too. And look, and honestly, I will say credit to Dolan on this season for just like
getting out of the way. Let the basketball people do basketball things.
Leon Rose is a godsend. And I think so as you can see, when the Knicks are good, I know this is like cliche, like everybody says, like when the Knicks are good, the NBA is good. But when the Knicks are good, there is a very specific energy with this fan base that is, you cannot deny that you like smell it. It's just like, I don't know.
It's incredible. We needed this to get over COVID in New York City. And Knicks fans are the people who are making this city feel normal more than anyone else. You are welcome. I'm not a Knicks fan, but I did bring a picture of John Starks to my barber when I was 8 years old.
Very cool.
No one had the no one bothered to tell me, hey, you know he's a black fella, right?
By the way, shout out to Bronson, the Tom Hardy movie.
Yeah, I said that on the pod, not in the pod.
Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we want here. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with it. Can I clown on the Knicks fans a little bit?
Oh, please.
Okay. What guy in the history of human behavior, in the history of chants, has done less to warrant a chant than Obi Toppin 2 nights ago?
Sure. I mean,
one block, one dunk in which he was found on it, but a couple of great plays, probably his 2 best plays of the season. MSG just gives us an Obi Toppin.
Oh, you don't understand. On the text threads, there's just like trade him. He's crud. Like get rid of him. And now it's just like Obi, let's go. We here. But the thing about Obi, I don't know if you saw this, but Obi has been a lifelong Knicks fan. Grew up in the city, and there is a photo of him in like a Spreewell jersey, like going like this. So no matter how crud he played during the season, if he's getting a alley-oop dunk to get the MSG rising up and making his mom cry, you're going to get a cheer.
Yeah, and all you guys need to do, you just pretend Quickly was drafted where he was. He was drafted where Quickly was. Great draft last year. You're good.
Oh my God. And this is the thing that I was like kind of we were talking about earlier, where it's like, the thing about this Knicks team, which is psychotic, and honestly, as a Knicks fan, it took me a very long time to actually like believe in this team. I still kind of like, I'm like loosely like.
I mean, you can't believe in this team. Alex Burks plays crunch time. Taj Gibson plays crunch time. Reggie Bullock plays crunch time. It is wild who they're winning with. Rose and Randle are great players. Barrett can get there, but the rest of the guys playing major minutes, I mean, they got to be as surprised as we are.
Yes, I will. I even will say I love Randle. I love everything he's doing this season, for obvious reasons. But the only player I legitimately trust is Rose. Rose is the only player on the Knicks team that legitimately it's like, okay, I know he will do something positive. With everything,
Randall's great. But there is something to, he's a traditional power forward when no one else plays like a power forward.
Chaotic. A power forward that is just like this thing. I'm going to show you my Randle impression.
Please.
It's dribble, wild, and it works. But every time I'm like, this is chaotic. This is not.
And like, I'm a very serious basketball player. Julius Randle is someone who I play a lot like, and I kind of suck. Like, even when I'm the best, it's like, what is this game? I'm like a bear falling down the stairs. Yes. And Julius is the same way. He dribbles like he's mad at the ground.
There's a type of player where their limbs are moving. Every limb is moving like in circles. And it's just like it works, and I think that's how you play. And I'm assuming.
Yeah, and his son is kind of like displacing Riley Curry as the NBA's like most beloved kid. He presented Julius with the most improved player trophy. I don't know if you saw the extended cut where he went into Jeremy Grant's house and stole it, but it was a very cute video. And my question for you is: a lot of people have been making the case that like Julius could win the mayoral election. Could Julius's son win the mayoral election?
Yes. Yes, it's that simple. Nobody like I, this mayoral election, nobody knows any of the candidates really. Besides, everyone knows not to vote for Andrew Yang. So if a cute kid comes with like just like little tiny clothes and says like catchphrases like "we here," I'll vote for that.
Yeah, 100%.
It's ranked voting, so like you'll get. I'll vote for him for third.
And I am a poll worker. I'm putting this out there, Randle family. If you want your toddler to have the highest office in the city, I'll make that happen for you guys.
Yeah. I would love not only would I love a kid mayor, but I would love like a kid mayor that has ties to the Knicks.
Absolutely. They're not going to practice in Westchester much longer.
No.
We'll put the Nets up there. Put the Knicks in Industry City. None of our Boston viewers got that reference, but all right.
And I will say, bringing up the Nets, I cannot tell you how much of a win this season is in the sense that the Knicks, are good. At the same time, the Nets have the best like lineup ever. And it's like, if Durant and Harden and Kyrie were on the Knicks or on the Lakers or on honestly the Pistons, like would.
This works for the Knicks because it's not just that the Knicks are good, it's that the Knicks are good while playing like a Knicks team. You got Randle being Anthony Mason merged with Patrick Ewing. You got Derrick Rose connecting with Tibbs in this like one of the greatest romances of our time. Like they're the only people who love each other and see each other and they're still together, and they just need 3 more wins to really cement this.
Yes, and if you ask any Knicks fan, no one really liked the Melo teams. We liked them for obvious reasons, but we knew deep down it's like this team is not a legitimate team. Linsanity was amazing for obvious reasons, but with the Melo team, that 2013 team, we knew it wasn't going to be. This is different. This is different
because this is the rarest thing in like culture. It's an authentic fan experience.
Mm-hmm.
And like all you need to do, you beat the Hawks, right? Which is like probably 50-50 in my estimation.
Yeah.
You just need to get to round 2, and that alone will stop the time from like one more round that stops people from getting on the Nets bandwagon. That's all you need.
Yes. And that's the thing. Like you're saying, we get to second round. The Sixers could sweep us, and they honestly will. And it will be successful. Like I will be happy.
Yeah, it's House's money now. And if you play the Sixers, you give them a fight, you'll annoy the hell out of that team.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can watch the Nets take care of them for you guys.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'm actually thinking, can we move on? Any last thoughts we have on the Knicks?
I just want to say, every fan base has some has a nutcase. The Knicks have a lot of them. The Jazz have a majority of them. Go Knicks, go the rhythm of the city. That's what we're rooting for. When you root for the Knicks winning, you're rooting for the energy and positivity of New York City to go up.
Yeah, New York City, I always feel like it's the best under 2 conditions. 4th of July and when the Knicks are good. And we might have the perfect storm. I know Philly's arduous, but we get to the conference finals. We have the Knicks being good on the 4th of July. That's the best possible version of New York City.
And if the Knicks play the Nets in a series this playoffs and the Knicks beat the Nets, I will literally shit myself. Like guaranteed, I will shit myself. I will on purpose.
All right. I mean, there's going to be an extensive verification process for that. Like, All right, I guess I gotta. He told me it, so I want
You
to
got
make sure
a
he's a man of his word.
bunch of emails and like Instagram DMs, like, hey, so
Hey, Yoni, thanks for doing the stream, but I'm gonna need to see some photos of skid marks to make sure you're a man of honor.
yeah, I am.
Okay, the opposite of Men of Honor. That's a scuba diving movie, I think. I hate this. Have you seen that meme that's like heartbreaking? The worst person you knew just made a great point.
Uh-huh.
We just saw this in the sports world for real with Kyrie Irving. It's awful. He's going back to Boston tonight. He's never played in front of the Boston crowd. And he said,
Which is crazy.
yeah, I mean, he's been ducking it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I just hope I don't get any subtle racism.
Subtle, he says.
And you know what? You got me, Kyrie. You got Boston. You're in a situation where Danny Ainge, a famous Mormon, is going, no, I don't think we have much racism here in Boston. And it's just like, okay, now fans in Boston, I know you're watching here tonight. I know this is just for Boston people, and most of you are hanging out with us. You got to be nice to Kyrie if this is the case. You got to kill him with kindness.
What a turn that would be if Boston like goes super like supportive and positive, and that throws him off even more.
Absolutely, because if he's just gonna say that you're racist, be really progressive. Let's get the Angela Davis chance going in the TD Garden.
That's right. We support you no matter what. Love is here.
Your race is great, but you're an asshole. I was a Nets season ticket holder from 2015 to 18. They always wanted me to get back, and I said, you know what? I just won't pay to watch Kyrie Irving play basketball. That's how much I dislike this guy. My favorite player is Durant, and the fact that they're calling this like the big three when it's Durant, it's Harden, then it's Kyrie. Well played, Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you turned friendships into a career. That hasn't been the case since everyone who's ever gotten a comedy writing job.
Bang. Boom, bang, boom.
Okay, where you? So, I do want to say I grew up watching so much basketball, and just given the first round, seeing the Bucks and the Mavs whooping on this team, going after their bullies. How the hell were European players ever considered soft?
It's also Jokic is going to win MVP, which is like that's I think 3 years in a row a European player will be MVP.
Yeah, like growing up, it's like, yeah, you can't take Nikola Schizophilia. It's just like, oh, maybe Americans don't actually develop the best basketball players. Going to AAU and making everyone play like Trae Young or James Harden might not be the ideal for a team sport.
Also, aren't there like stories of like Vlade Divac just like eating like a shit ton of like steaks and sausages and then smoking a cigarette before a game, and then, or is that Tony Kukoc? I feel like
that's everyone. I did meet Blake Griffin one night. We hung out for a little bit, and he told me he once saw Andre Drummond eat 18 hot dogs before a game.
Okay.
Because I told him, like, yeah, I like betting on basketball. He's like, no, you should not bet on basketball. Here's how many hot dogs they're eating. And I'm like, fair.
Wow. How is Blake as a person? Nice?
Unbelievably nice. Like, he was there with his entourage. We were ended up being on the same stand-up show, and the booker put me on it because they knew I was a Pistons fan as like a nice thing for me.
Oh, that's fun.
And then after my set, Blake came and like hung out, watched the show for me, and like was amazing. And his stand-up was pretty cool. He got heckled. Someone said, "Where's Chris Paul?" And he said, "Who?"
Very good. Love that. Good for Blake.
Yeah, so shouts to Blake for all that. Like, good for him. Good for shitting on the Clippers, because the world is shitting on the Clippers.
Mm-hmm. And now he's in Brooklyn, where he could like do a set at
Eastville Comedy Club is so close to Barclays. Littlefield is right there. Blake's a little clubby though.
He is clubby. He is a big clubby guy.
Yeah, he's not gonna Littlefield. He might get booed. He won't be able to follow Sam Tagger. But if he goes to Eastville, you put him in between Patrick Schroeder and some other lumpy ball. He'll be just
yeah. Give those Long Islanders the jokes they want.
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've always liked the guy. I always thought when he jumped over the Kia, it was a little cheap because he like jumped over the like front of the car. Remember I'm talking about the dunk contest?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
remember when he
jumped over that Kia it was in the dunk contest. Oh, I thought it was the Olympic hurdles.
You don't remember that game when that guy like parked his car in the middle of the fucking court and then Blake's like, "No, it's okay. Let me jump over."
Yeah, that's the highlight of the show right there. Yeah, a Sam Taggart shot. We love. Yeah, of course we're shouting out alt comedians here.
Brooklyn comedians.
He should be an alt comedian for the world. I love that guy.
Sam and I have the same rep, so shout out Tara Beppel.
Shouts to Tara. Shouts to Sam. I didn't realize the synergy I was doing.
Yeah, beautiful. I love it.
Oh,
wow. But yeah, I'm curious. Not to change subjects here, but like I think I'm doing like a bracket with a bunch of friends, like a pool, and like what I'm really impressed by is nobody. It's like 7 people. Nobody has the same winner. Nobody is putting down the same winner. It's all pretty. So I'm curious as to what you think is who you think is going to win this entire playoffs.
I think the West will be determined by whoever wins that Phoenix and Los Angeles series.
I love it. I love this take.
Yeah. Those are the 2 best teams because those are the 2 teams that can play any style of basketball. You go fast, Suns and Lakers could do it. You go plotting with the big, Suns and Lakers can do it. And I like my lady, she's from Arizona. The Suns have allowed me to bond with her family a little bit. Sit Chris Paul. You push the pace on this Lakers team. They're not going to be able to keep up with that. You have 3 great forwards. And I knew Monty Williams was never a good coach before. He's going to win the Coach of the Year this year. And really, that's Chris Paul Coach of the Year award.
It's Chris Paul.
Never done anything. That adjustment was so freaking obvious the other night.
Yes.
I would have loved to see them push the pace, especially in the second quarter.
Yes. If the Suns were on the opposite side of the bracket, it would be Suns Lakers Western Conference Finals for sure.
Absolutely, because the Suns match up so well with like Utah, Denver, Portland, the second class of it. And it's just like if the Lakers get that 7-game runway to get right, they put them in the finals, cruise it there.
Yeah.
And in the other side, man, this Bucks Nets series is going to be really wonderful, isn't it? That's going to be the best basketball we see all postseason just because of you have like a really well-built team. You have something like where it's kind of like a lot of heart, a lot of human emotion during the Giannis-led Bucks. And on the other side, you have the equivalent of the Illuminati setting up just everything for success.
Yeah. I'm totally with you. I think it's going to be another like Heat Mavs situation in which like it's the first year this big team is playing together. Sure, they're going to be great, but like you're saying, when it's playoff crunch time, there is something about like team chemistry that's like it pushes you to the next level. And the Nets obviously have the best stars, but no matter how you look at it, they never played together in a consistent amount of time to develop this like bond. And like you're saying, the Bucks have suffered they have felt, and there was a lot of push in that team chemistry.
Yeah, and you're coming off this exorcism versus Miami, and like the one thing that the Bucks can really do is punch you in the mouth. And with a Harden, KD, who I'm going to kind of leave out of this, Kyrie team, like
because
I love KD.
Yeah.
I think he's the most misunderstood guy in sports. I think he wants basketball to be played at the highest level. That's what the Golden State thing tells me. That's what this Brooklyn thing tells me. And people are like, no, he's ring chasing. No, it's just like LeBron never went for the best possible team.
Mhm.
LeBron never sacrificed to change his game. The team went around him. The
Mhm.
way Durant became a rim protector in 2017 and added like a Rudy Gobert element to him, I think was one of the most significant things I saw from a superstar.
Mhm.
And if the Nets win, I won't be mad. If the Nets win, I think I'm cheering for them, but I cannot bring myself to go against this Bucks team right now.
I love that. I love it. And also, Drew Holiday was like a legit, and like that was exactly the person they needed for that team. And
Yeah,
he's
if they let Brogdon go, I mean, they could have just kept him and kept
yeah, they
90
could've.
first-round picks.
Cool.
Sorry, I cut you off with a Brogdon thing. I think of
No,
Brogdon
no.
too
Please,
much.
I know you're full of Brogdon things.
I'm bogged down with all this Brogdon in my brain.
I'm Brog down.
That's why he's got management, folks. Okay, so
Sam Taggart, shout out.
shouts to Sam Taggart. Wait, what was your finals prediction? It was Knicks versus Knicks, right?
I have a dude in that like pool who has the Knicks sweeping the Nuggets in the final. So it just goes to show you how Knicks. That's like a little snippet into Knicks brain. No, I have Lakers. I have Lakers over Sixers, but I don't feel confident in the Sixers anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I do want the Sixers to go far just because taking the train down to Philly is the only way I'll be able to afford to see a playoff game.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But yeah, they're fine. They're exciting. That's the series I've paid the least attention to just because the Washington's just not up to par.
Yeah. But I just like them because it's like I had this like vision that Embiid was going to go off in the playoffs, and it was like one of those like where a player just like kind of like the Bucks team is doing, where it's just like, okay, it's my time. I'm going to just take it up to the next level, but that's not happening. Doesn't look like it's happening. So
yeah, and I like this because as soon as one of these young cats breaks through, that's it for the old guard. There's that like if you were drafted before 2010. This might be your last window. So that's kind of why I'm not going to be upset if Katie and Harden get this one.
yes,
I don't want Harden to be our Karl Malone in 30 years. Would be like, yeah, that fucking loser never did anything when it counted.
Yeah, and you like look at his stats, you're like, that didn't happen. There's no way.
Yeah, where are the rings, bro? And like I'm just going to be like 65 years old going, Chris Paul got hurt in game 4.
You know what my friend told me about Chris Paul, which was crazy? I got to open it up. My friend was saying Chris Paul suffers from this like type of anxiety disorder. What is it? Fuck. He was saying like the reason why Chris Paul gets injured in every playoffs is because his like body reacts to anxiety in a certain way. And the dude gets like these like injuries.
Okay, I have my own theory.
Talk to me.
The NBA is fixed specifically against Chris Paul sometimes. Last night, sure, the Lakers won. Who reffed that Lakers game? Scott Foster.
Okay.
Do you want to know what Chris Paul's record is in his last 11 games reffed by Scott Foster?
Oh my God, sock it to me.
0-11.
Ooh, that's yeah.
Every year, Chris Paul, all he cares about is he begs the NBA, please don't have Scott Foster like ref my playoff games. Every year, Scott Foster refs the playoff games. It's inexplicable. I do not get it. And maybe you shouldn't have it. Like if I go back at the end of my life and it's like, yeah, I almost won this. I almost got to be on the Tonight Show, but like this one dude decided I shouldn't be on the Tonight Show. Then I went to Conan and I sent my tape there, ready to put me on Conan. This one dude decided I shouldn't be on Conan. That's what Scott Foster is to Chris Paul. He's ruining his life.
Damn.
If he goes, like, if it happens too much more, we might see, like,
30 for 30s?
Yeah, 30 for 30. What if I told you Chris Paul got a gun and a map to Scott Foster's house?
What? Yeah, I'd watch that. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Oh, my gosh.
I paid for ESPN Plus for that.
Oh, that's too dark. That's like, I shouldn't have said that joke.
That's the thing. out of all the teams besides the Knicks, for obvious, not even the Knicks, like I think the player that most deserves, I think, is Chris Paul. I would love to see Chris Paul win. I would love to see Chris Paul win.
Yeah, and it's just like he's one of the top 25 guys ever. Only Isaiah's ever broken through as like a little guy, and this might be his last chance. We saw the Clippers duck this Lakers team in round one, give them to the Suns, and
how about the stinky ass Clippers? My God.
oh boy, but I just don't know what's happening there. I know Paul George, people give him shit. I know people love to shit on PG-13 because I guess he's an asshole and a bad person and a choke artist. But Kawhi Leonard, you left two good franchises. There's like 8 well-run franchises in sports, and you're like,
Yeah.
Spurs, nah. Raptors, nah. I'm going to go try and win a title on...
For Steve Ballmer. There it is.
Oh, wow. At least Ballmer loves the game. And like...
I do like, yeah, he is fun. And he screeches like, yeah!
Yeah, and it's not their fault, but like coaching matters. You're gonna have Ty Lue in there, and they're so good. It came out the other day that the Mavericks aren't even running plays.
Oh wow!
They're like, yeah, Rondo knows all our plays. He's calling them out, so we're just shooting whatever, and they're just hitting 50% of threes.
Insane.
Yeah, I do think there is a chance the Clippers still win that series. Unfortunately, the Mavericks are just shooting too well. It's unsustainable.
Yeah.
And, you know how it's kind of like where Milwaukee's really bad in close games, but they might just blow you out? It's the Clippers are the opposite of that. They're good when it's tight. They get that ISO defense. They're getting to the foul line, and they got Kawhi, who's like the best ISO dude.
Yes.
So I think they'll get it tonight. I think it'll be 2-2 by the next time we hang out. But
I love that.
I'm nerding out, baby.
I love it. I would love to see the Clippers come back. I think that's fun. Good basketball.
And just like, Hawks and the Knicks need to go 7 games. Like, I think this series needs to go 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the Lucas story. The Clippers are the bad boy Pistons to his Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just have this fun little rivalry, and then like this boring ass Jazz team will blow out the Mavs.
Yeah, I love that. I love that about basketball. Intriguing first round series, and then just like dog shit second round, and then a pretty good conference finals, and a great finals, a nice finals.
Yeah, like you'll see these classic round 1 series. They'll go 7 games, and then round 2 will be like, oh, these guys are tired. Got it. The ceiling of the limits of human physiology. Cool. Enjoy your 5 games. Have a good summer.
I mean, that's why I loved last year's finals, because it was literally a physical feat.
Yeah, and it was tough because we saw Dragic and Adebayo go down in the first half of Game 1, similar to how Chris Paul went down in Game 1 versus Los Angeles. I can't wait to just have a megaphone go to LeBron's Hall of Fame induction ceremony, piping out, he benefited.
Wow.
I am going next year to boo Chris Webber, so...
Really?
Yeah, I'm a student. I'm a current student at the University of Michigan, and until he makes up with Jalen Rose, he's persona non grata for me.
Where is it again? Is it going to be at?
It's in Springfield, Massachusetts, which that Hall of Fame sucks, but it is next to a Six Flags.
I remember I went as a kid, and I remember being like, Six Flags is right here. Can we go there? My dad was like, well, we're going to the Naismith.
And I'm very afraid of roller coasters, but I love a good water park. So I'll go there for the water park. And then on the way back home, you go to New Haven, you get yourself a clam pie, maybe a tomato pie from it. There's great pizza on the drive to the basketball thing. That's not what I meant. I need to eat lunch.
But the worst place, the bus station in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
Terrifying.
any bus station like around the world, if you're still getting around on bus,
Greyhounds and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. It's a dicey time. I once had to kill 12 hours at the Indianapolis bus station in longest 3 weeks of my life.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, I had a great time today. Do you have any projects where the people can find you, where people want to show you some love? Where can they maybe follow you?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram. It's my name, Yoni Lotan. I put out content like crazy. You can watch the Orange Julius adventures, if you will.
Oh, I would love that. I would personally love that. I'm sure our viewers would. Everyone watch the Orange Julius adventures.
The adventures of young Orange Julius.
Well, I don't think I'd ever had a conversation with you, but I genuinely had such a fun time with you today. I'm rooting for you, the Knicks, and like I will go to a basketball game with you any
Likewise, my
time.
dude. Likewise, my dude. This was a pleasure and an honor, and I hope you guys get Cunningham next year. Right?
I'm kind of maybe any of the top 3 guards are awesome. You can't lose with them. For another day though.
Awesome.
Until then, for my friend Yoni, for Knicks fans everywhere, this is Joel Walkowski walking off.
Yeah, you're not wearing pants either.